following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics, the only show of its type where we have a good Democrat who's a little liberal, and we have an extreme Republican, my friend here, Bill O'Brien,
Well,
who is,
thank you.
what are you now? I can't.
An extreme
You're gone
Republican.
so far
Extreme Republican.
off.
You know, I went up last week. It was a little over a week ago. I went up and spoke at a function in Maine, and so the Democrat Party there took out the Democrat phrase book. And it has words in it like extreme and bully and all that. And before they turned to all the passages in that, they said he's as extreme as Governor LePage. I took that as a compliment.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, I took that as a real compliment. Now they got the
and they still let you.
They got the compliment muddled and everything by extreme and he's bully and all that. But
Jeez, I wonder how you got that. I wonder how you got that.
But out of the Democrat Facebook. Oh, you always do it. I mean, as I said during, I think either during the speech or the press conference I had afterwards, I recounted the time that I met Dan Quayle. It was over the last year or so. I've been one of those guys that wasn't particularly active politically until about 10 years ago. And so the time that Dan Quayle was active, I was sort of a consumer of the legacy media message on Dan Quayle, which is not too sharp, deer caught in the headlight. You've heard all the phrases. Instead, I met a man who is very articulate, very intelligent. He's gone and set up an investment fund that has done very, very well. A sharp, articulate guy. It just proved to me.
Shouldn't have been in politics.
It proved to me the power of the media to define conservatives. And
I know, but you got to have the ability to spell potato. I mean, come on.
Oh, really? Is that as important as knowing that there's 50 states rather than 57 states in the Union, such as Barack Obama? Or is it important as knowing that in Austria they actually speak German, not Austrian?
No, I would like.
We all make mistakes when we're in the public eye. We say some silly things.
But I would like somebody to know what the red button and the green button is for. I mean,
I tell you, I'd like somebody to be away from the red button.
That's
right. The red button
exactly.
Right now. That's what I would like. I think we know what we're talking about there. Look, if you're in the public eye long enough, you end up saying whether you're tired or you're speculating or you're just not thinking, as Dan Quayle has handled a card that was misspelled during the spelling bee, and it had a wrong spelling of potato, and he's just thinking, oh, okay. And that defined him, unlike 57 states not defining Barack Obama. Austrians speaking Austrian rather than German hasn't defined Barack Obama or any of the other horrendous
Well, wait a minute. Do you want me to go to Bush? I mean... we can go to the Bushisms.
Is Bush our president now?
You have been telling me.
Is Bush our president now?
You have been telling me, forget about Bush, but there you are criticizing the president of the United States, right? And half the problem, if not half, more than half the problem, one war, we're in several $1 trillion. Gee whiz, isn't China, we owe China a lot of money. How'd this all happen?
Oh, well, Hillary Clinton voted for the war resolution. That's part of the way it happened. John Kerry voted for the war resolution in Iraq. That's another part of the way it happened. A majority of the Democrats in the Congress voted for the war resolution in Iraq. That's how it happened.
And who is the president?
And the president believed the same information that Hillary Clinton, John Kerry, and a majority of the Democrat senators believed, which was that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and it was necessary to go to war in order to prevent them from being used. Now, he could have been wrong. I'm not sure he was wrong. Actually, they did find chemical weapons and all. But even saying he was wrong, he was no more wrong than Hillary Clinton, who is the anointed one at this point for the presidential nomination. Now, we're not even talking about Joe Biden because he hasn't checked to find out what speech Neil Kinnock made 30 years ago.
Hillary is a woman, right? And she's done a lot of political, in the last 4 years.
She's done nothing.
Are you saying
in the last 4 years? What has she achieved as Secretary of State? What did Hillary Clinton achieve? The big thing is I'm going to do the reset with Russia, and she sends them a reset button in which the word reset is misspelled in Russian, and so I mean she did that.
Okay, I guess that's a potato thing. We'll give that.
No.
Potato for the Russian thing.
No,
okay?
we can't do that because, of course, Hillary Clinton's a Democrat, so she's perforce very, very smart. It's like remember when John Kerry ran against.
Oh, he's on a roll.
John Kerry ran against against Bush. Oh, wait a minute, I just made a mistake. Oh Lord, a conservative. I'm dead forever.
No, I am. You make the mistakes, and I got in trouble.
Do you remember how the erudite guy, the Renaissance man, was supposed to be John Kerry? He has speaks French. The Parisian loved him and everything. He went to Yale like Bush did, but Bush never picked up a Yale persona and all that. And then then their academic records were leaked, and John Kerry did much worse academically than Bush did. His grades were much lower than Bush's. It goes to show what the media can do. It took a dunce like Kerry and made him into a Renaissance man.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let us use a little bit of what you said about Kerry running against Bush. When Kerry is a U-boat captain, okay?
John Kerry?
John Kerry.
What is the fast boats, the river boats.
Right. Is fired upon, they turn towards the fire, he hops off the boat and runs, firing the gun, trying to get the people who shot at him. Now, wait a minute.
He had the guy with a camera behind him.
This was Bush.
He used to call himself JFK.
So you turn around.
When he was in school, he took the same name. He used to call himself JFK, and he ended up having a guy with a camera on him to watch him going charge in the beach.
Well, if you want to talk about cameras, Bush's father had a camera on him when he, got out of a boat onto a submarine to walk up after his plane was shot down.
During those days, I had 4 brothers and my father in Vietnam. I was very, very, very much aware of the military culture in those days when it came to Vietnam. And I got to tell you, my 4 brothers and my father, I can't remember one of them ever mentioning if you get 3 Purple Hearts, you get to leave the combat theater. Now, my father was wounded there. One of my brothers was wounded there, and so forth. I don't.
And who got 3 Purple Hearts?
And Kerry did.
And who got 3 Purple Hearts?
Some of them were very, very ambiguous wounds.
Okay.
Like I cut my arm here.
Wait.
When I was jumping off the boat, I cut my arm.
3 Purple Hearts. Okay, no.
And so what I'm suggesting, is that he arranged this to get out of theater. And he had no more honesty when he did that.
3 Purple Hearts, but
he had no more honesty when he did that than when he said, "I'm going to throw my medals over the fence to the White House."
George W. Bush did what? He brought people up on the stage who called Kerry what? Kerry,
is this a ratcheting down
radical?
Is this a ratcheting down of morality?
So what
are you trying to say that Kerry's mendacity is entirely understandable? Because I can find at the time a Republican who
are you saying he's not patriotic? Are you saying he didn't go to Vietnam? Are you saying he didn't? Wasn't the captain of the small boat? Are you saying he didn't go up and down the rivers? Are you saying he wasn't shot upon? Are you saying he didn't get 3 Purple Hearts? Oh, wait a minute.
Let me answer the first question. Am I saying he's not patriotic? When he stood and when he sat, rather, in front of the church committee and said that American soldiers were like barbarians killing children, yes, he was not patriotic. It wasn't true the way he described American soldiers in Vietnam. It wasn't true that that wasn't an
Oh,
effort.
really?
It was not true.
Was there Cali, something like that? What was that called?
In any army, there are instances where people break the rules. But he
All
was breaking the
the
rules.
time.
He was prosecuted. To compare American soldiers to Nazis and to barbarians as an institution was unforgivable. Was that not patriotic?
You know something?
That was not patriotic.
You know, I think if somebody was in Vietnam, fairly intelligent, 3 Purple Hearts, as you know, scratches as you call them, coming back and seeing exactly what the war is, how frustrating it is, all the people being killed, and now historically Kerry was right. You start reading the books about Vietnam.
Actually,
you start reading why it was put together, how it was put together.
Actually, he wasn't right. But we're not going to argue all of Vietnam. No, he wasn't right historically. But moreover, he was very wrong to take it out on the rank and file soldiers. If our government's policy was right or wrong, we can argue that. There's nothing unpatriotic about arguing government policy and coming back and saying this is a wrong policy in Southeast Asia. But to call American soldiers barbarians took it out on some kids from Detroit.
No, hold on a second.
Kids from Nashua.
Was he there? Did he go there? So he was calling himself a barbarian also. Are you saying that what he was doing is he was saying everybody else was a barbarian except for me, who was over there?
Don't put words in
No,
my mouth,
he
Ken.
wasn't.
No, all I'm saying is he stood and he sat in front of the church committee and called the American soldier, the average soldier, a barbarian. And that was wrong. That was kids from Nashua. It was kids from Concord. It was kids from Detroit.
Bush brought people in and said about McCain, who had spent 4 years in a hut in a jail, that he wasn't patriotic by bringing people in on the same stage where he was. This was Bush doing this.
I don't recall that at all. I'm not even sure what you're referring to. I'm not sure.
No, I'm not
sure. I don't remember
let's
any
move
such
on.
incident.
We could argue that.
But you know, we did have, and I know you want to mention it because congratulations to you and your party. You carried a special election, state representative election. You wanted to mention it, so we just completed over the last week or so.
Yes. Well, I've positive and a few negative things on both sides. As you know, it was between a good friend of yours, who is deputy speaker, I believe.
Yeah, majority leader.
Majority. Okay. Mr. Silver, Peter Silver, against Lady Manjapudi.
Yep.
All right, and they went out and they battled it out, and your man lost by, we'll say 200. It was more than that. We'll say 200 votes.
Yeah, it was a significant number of votes for a special election.
Significant number of votes.
And congratulations. You know, I think one of the things that the Democrat Party does very, very well is organize itself for elections, and particularly in special elections. That really pays off.
Well, and I've said this before, and I know there's going to be some Democrats a little upset at me. This wasn't just Peter, Silver, and Manjapudi. This was Republican and Democrat Party. This was not just here in Nashua. This was up in Concord they were taking this. In fact, some senators had called her and talked to her. I'm serious. When a person gets $11,000 for a $100 a year job, and campaign manager, mail-outs, it was unbelievable. I mean, every door had been knocked on at least twice by not necessarily her, but her other people. If anybody would have done that, if Peter would have had that much money and that much backing behind him, this was not 2 people. This was 2 parties that were fighting.
Well, it was 1.5 parties fighting, because indeed the efforts of the Republican Republican Party, state party, never ever matches that of the Democrat state party. We get elected. Now, I've never had any support from the state party in my election, not because they don't morally support me or I don't know the leaders and they want me to get elected.
But they didn't do anything?
But no, because they don't have the resources to do it. They don't. You know, you have a full-time paid leader of your party. You know, Ray Buckley gets, you know, a commission on amount of money raised. He gets a salary and so forth. Jennifer Horn, the state leader of the state party in Massachusetts, excuse me, in New Hampshire, gets nothing. She doesn't get paid for it. She's a volunteer. And it sort of permeates its way down. You know, we have at any given point probably 3 or 4 full-time staff members. And you tell me, but I mean, the reports I hear is that there's probably 10 or 15 at any given time in the Democrat state party. It's just a difference in resources.
You know, the leadership and the non-leadership. I mean, this, you know, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Maybe you had less than the Democrats have now. I don't know when you were running. How many people did you have when you were Speaker of the House, working with him?
Working at the Speaker's office?
Yeah.
Heck, it wasn't many. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 5 and a half, I think. And I had a part-time position for my attorney, the House Counsel. I remember that because, you know, I'd go around talking to other speakers. You know, you always compare salaries and you compare staff and all. And I'd go to, you know, Gordon Fox, who's the speaker in Rhode Island, and, you know, I'd say, oh, you know, how many people you have working for you, Gordon? He goes, oh, it's a lean staff. You know, I have, I don't know what it was. It was like, you know, 28 people. And so I went to Sheila Oliver, who was the speaker in New Jersey, kind of at, not entirely the other extreme, but an extreme. And I said, well, how many people? I'm not working for the House Representative, on your staff, you know. And she had 83 people working on her staff. You know, and New Hampshire's better off because of it, I think. I really do, that we have lean staffs. They had a chief of staff who was basically kind of running the office, making sure people show up, the legislative researchers show up, the drafters, and not show up, but, you know, they just supervising the folks there. I had a public relations person, 2, and then I had an attorney, and then I had a personal kind of assistant scheduler, personal secretary, you know, really did it all, and then we had a receptionist.
Yeah, and maybe some people out there think that's a lot, but as you said, if you go to other states, and besides that, you have 400 state representatives that basically.
Well, that's right. You're trying to you know, schedule meetings with all of them, schedule meetings with the governor. I mean,
how many in Rhode Island? 160 around? I don't know.
It's less. They've reduced it down, and I can't remember now. I did know at one point, Ken. I can't remember.
Oh wait, so I think
it's about 100 or so. 120 somewhere.
So we have 2/3 more. We have 300 more than they have.
Yeah, we do. You know, funny thing, you know, just comparing the two bodies there, they consider themselves a citizen legislature, but they get paid pretty well and get retirement and medical and all that. But they meet in the evening. I don't know if you realize that. So people can work during the day. They'll have their session start like at 4 in the afternoon, and I thought about, when you're speaking, you're constantly thinking, is there a better way to run this organization?
Yeah.
One of the things I thought is, maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe it's to have, rather than one session day a week when we're in session, but we basically meet about 3 weeks out of the month while we're in session that first half of the year. I thought, well, what if we switched over to like Tuesday and Thursday evenings? And that would allow some people to have full-time jobs. Because the problem is getting folks in. We end up getting is a lot of students, a lot of retired people, people who have indulgent spouses, or okay if they go up there and spend all the time, or rich people. And so I thought, this is a way to
well,
get.
What category do I fall in? I have nothing.
I thought you were the rich.
No.
Person. Really?
No. Very, very. Very poor person.
Oh,
I'm not. Yes. We've talked about that a lot.
You have self-employed people.
Yeah.
No. So you have to have people who have flexible lives, but the regular guy who is or woman who is going to work 9 to 5 or has a spouse that's working 9 to 5 and has family responsibilities. I was thinking, boy, we could sort of include those.
What you're saying is we could bring a different person and probably I don't know. I can't say more educated. I mean, we've got everyone.
Oh, we do pretty well.
Professors, we got, I mean.
But if you look at the governance of our towns and cities and counties to a limited degree, you'll find that they tend to meet more often in the evening, which allows somebody to come up from work and go to you know, the select board meeting or the city council meeting and so forth. So I was kind of thinking of that, you know, one way we could kind of be more inclusive. It would have been disruption. I know people would have been really kind of upset.
You know, but
Just because it's changed.
But the people that you mentioned, you know, it's factual. Let's face it. There are, and I've heard men say, if my wife didn't have insurance, I couldn't do this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
because the wife's a teacher, et cetera. Believe me, up there, it's really both men and women must depend on each other. You must have a good spouse, someone who's going to understand. And I think we both know what happens to some people on both sides, marriage things, divorces, bankruptcies, and a great deal of it, one can turn around and say it's because they're doing this.
Right, right. I mean, any one of us who have been in our careers and sort of take a break as I did, you know, you could sort of sit there with pen and pencil and go, okay, how much should I give up to do all this? It's an honor to do it, but I certainly would like to be more inclusive. You know, I became a state representative because a fellow in town came to me and said, I just love the opportunity to do well up in Concord, but my boss won't let me do it anymore. You know, I can't take off a couple of days a week while we're in session. So would you run? And you know, that's how a lot of us get involved. And he was a good guy. You know, if we'd had a different arrangement, he would have continued to serve and serve the state well.
Well, it's interesting that you would say that. I was asked 3 times to run. First time, I said yes. I went down and got the papers. They called me. They said, no, someone else is going to run. So we don't want to, you know, to have a 2 elections. So I said, okay. I didn't pass my papers. And the second time they called me, I said, yes, I'll go down. I had the papers. They called me again. No, 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 someone else is going to run. So I said, okay. The third time they called me, I said, look, I'm going up and I'm going to fill the papers out, and that's it. If you want me, get me in.
Now, I hate to reach this point, but is that the same group, Ken, that is asking you not to run anymore?
Oh, I'll tell you.
You know, because there's got to be something going on here that we just can't get any Democrats to come on this program. And for a while, you know, when I was talking about running for Congress, I thought, well, you know, that makes sense, you know, and I can understand fully. They don't want to give me a forum. They don't want to, you know, allow my profile to, you know, be in any way enhanced or anything. So I got it. You know, I don't have a political future anymore. I don't want a political future anymore. I want to have good politics. I want to discuss. I enjoy discussing.
You feel bad about that, and you would like Democrats to come on. Where's the camera? How do you think I feel as a Democrat? Having William O'Brien and myself is, listen, this is a good twosome. But we would like some people to come in and talk to us from the Democratic Party. For you not to do that and to let me sit here by myself and fight with this intelligent individual over here and argue with him, where are you, Democrats? Come in.
Yeah, and you know, the fact is I can get any number of Republicans.
Oh, we have. You've had.
And
there have been 3 here.
And we tend to enjoy it. I mean, you know, among my colleagues in the House, there's a number who have their own programs and everything. We view it both as an opportunity to talk with the people and an opportunity to start dealing with some issues and change.
But you must admit, this show is different than other shows. You know, I mean, you. A very intelligent man. You have done Speaker of the House. I am sort of like the person thrown aside the road, but still, you know, it's been 3 terms. You know, and if you're in commerce, you've got to have something going on with insurance and banking.
You're holding your own here, Ken.
You know, but it would be nice that this all stop. If people can't talk with Mr. O'Brien or with me, well, okay, too bad. But there has to be some people out there to stop, because you're not running again. You're done, basically.
No, I'm doing exactly what I said I would do when I first ran, which is spend a few terms up there, see what I can get done, and then going home. And you know, this obviously very much interests me. I enjoy our talks. I enjoy the opportunity to have these talks in front of the people of New Hampshire because maybe they'll be somewhat thought-provoking. But I'm not trying to build up my persona so that I can, you know, run for the next office. That's not in the future.
No, you don't have to do this. Yeah. You don't have to do this, but it's fun.
It's fun.
And we are getting along to a degree.
And
we don't pal around, but we...
but the point is, I'd love to have, you know, just as you'd love to have Republicans come in and talk with
Absolutely.
you. And kind of get a little bit of pushback there. I'd love to get the pushback, you know, from Democrats. And I'd love it to be pushback that doesn't involve Democratic Party spokesmen taking out a Democrat phrase books of insults and saying, you know, for example, yesterday we had a House session. I spoke on the House floor. And so the Democratic Party spokesperson doesn't say, that's wrong what he said, that's right what he said, here's what's good about Obamacare and Medicaid expansion, the subject of the day, here's what's bad. Instead, he said, oh, the Republican clown car has arrived. The people of New Hampshire deserve...
And who are they talking about?
They're talking about me. You know, they're talking about me.
The Republican what?
The Republican clown car arrived, I'm paraphrasing, clown car arrived, and Representative Baldessar, Representative O'Brien climbed out of it. You know, cute, okay, real cute.
Who wrote that?
Harold Kirsten, the Democrat Party spokesperson. We call him Jersey. The people of New Hampshire deserve more than that. The Obamacare and Medicaid expansion is a very important issue. It has arguments to do it. It has arguments not to do it. That's what we ought to be discussing. And to the extent we turn to a phrase book and issue forth insults like that, we're not insulting me. I don't care anymore. We're not insulting Al Baldessar. He's an old Marine sergeant. He doesn't
He's
care.
not gonna.
He could care less. What we're insulting is the intelligence of the people of New Hampshire.
Well, first of all,
because they deserve more. They deserve the opportunity to think about this issue and demand of their representatives.
I did not see that, but I will apologize as one Democrat. I never saw that. I don't think that's fair. And the problem is it keeps this thing going. And somewhere along the line, if the two of us are just doing something by talking, guess what? That's better than the clown car or...
And I want to take it up on another show, and hopefully we have another show coming up in a week or two, because these discussions have led to something. You know, you and I are going to sponsor some legislation.
That's right.
And maybe in an upcoming show we can talk about that.
Well, we're going to, next week's show, we're going to be talking about what happened in the House of Representatives and Medicaid and everything. Sure. But I think we have to go, so if you would like to say goodbye.
Well, and thank you again for your time. It's Representative Bill O'Brien. You can reach me at any time you want to on my cell phone. It's 603-620-8710, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Ken Gidge, obviously. You can get me on Gidge World, which is a website, an art website. You can get me, cell phone is 864-9332, and or Facebook. You're on Facebook also.
I am on Facebook.
Okay, befriend me if you would like. And I guess that's about it for the week.
Thanks, Ken.
Okay. Thank you.